Welcome, everybody. It is the Tuesday edition of Business Monday. I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder of GoLocal. Glad you can tune in. It is just 3 o'clock. Tune in all afternoon. We've got a lot going on. I'm going to have Vin Mizzolello from the Narragansett Bay Commission. They just got a $268 million federal loan that's going to help offset some of the cost of Phase 3 of the CSO program. And Kate Nagel will be going live up at House Finance Committee on the IGT hearing. Governor Raimondo is scheduled to testify first, I believe, up at that discussion over one of the more controversial issues going on in Rhode Island. IGT looking for an extension of their contract, and Twin River looking to get into the lottery game. I'm here now with entrepreneur, creator, Cleverhood's CEO, Susan Mocarski, and glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about it. You were here a couple of years ago talking about cool, technical, well-designed, innovative, smart apparel.
Yes. Yes.
Talk a little bit about it.
We started with a simple rain poncho. It's high performance. It's woven with reflective threading. It keeps you dry while you're walking around in the rain, or even better yet, biking in the rain.
Biking. Is it an urban product?
It is. It's very much of an urban product, and we get to go to fun, big cities all the time. It's great.
And who desires it? Whose wish list is that product on?
Is
it kind of everybody's?
It's a little surprising when we first launched. I wasn't quite sure. I designed it for me, so I figured, maybe there'll be other people like me. But it actually has turned out that I was surprised to see that probably 60% of our sales are men, and they're mostly professionals between 25 and 40 years old that need to cover their laptop, their messenger bag, and just kind of pull it off when they get to work and look really great, and their blazer isn't all sweaty.
Yeah.
Get a lot of airflow.
And you've been at it 8-9 years. You've been innovating the product. You've been making it better, cooler, faster, thinner, etc. Talk about a little bit about where you see it. I mean, you probably timed the product just about perfectly. The growth of biking, the refocus on living an urban life. What's been the challenges?
Well, production is probably the biggest challenge, but there are all sorts of challenges, but part of those are the joy.
Yeah.
Marketing, finding those people that share our kind of vision of sustainability and all-weatherness. That was a challenge, but it actually turns out to be the most fun. And producing it as local as possible, carefully as possible, is a challenge, but that's kind of where we love to pull our sleeves up and get into it.
It's a technical product.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it requires some craftsmanship. This is not.
It does.
This is not being slapped together.
I can't sew this. I've tried, and I can't. No, we do need some very skilled sewing hands on it, and it needs to be seam taped, which is a kind of a technical piece.
Right.
The materials are all kind of technical.
As you see it and as it grows, where have you seen the greatest success geographically? Like what you could be a ranking all to yourself, right? Like, because it's the encompassment of sort of a tech, biking, urban lifestyle. Where do you sell the most?
Well, New York City, hands down. We got a great review in Forbes magazine, and they said you don't have to be a hipster from Brooklyn to love this. But thankfully, hipsters from Brooklyn are kind of our main group, but Portland, Oregon is a huge market.
They do not use umbrellas in Portland.
I know, I'm so happy about that. And in Japan, it's actually illegal to bicycle with an umbrella, and so we find Tokyo is a big market for us. We have fun cities, Toronto. Australia is a big market.
Is it really?
Booming for us, yeah. Yep.
And how does the word get? Is that because they read about it in Forbes or the New York Times or wherever the coverage was?
Our buyers are a little on the younger side, and I think they just do a quick Google search for high-performance rain poncho, and oddly enough, we pop up, this little company from Rhode Island.
And as the company sort of immerses itself in this really well-tracking growth of sort of how societies are changing. Are you seeing any cool partnerships developed? Have you been able to develop some?
Yeah, definitely. We've worked with a lot of really cool organizations out of New York City for alternative transportation, City Bike.
Yep.
Those sort of partnerships are really nice when we're working with transportation advocates. But we're going to start to work with more product-based, like good rubber boots, good shoes.
Right.
But yeah, I think we could find a partnership with anybody because it's really more about the mindset of trying to
Can you
make
get
good
branded
clothes.
ones? Can we get GoLocal logoed
That would
ones?
be very good. We did one for Eco News.
Did you?
Yeah, we'll definitely hook you up.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Where do you see the company going? I mean, you've proven the concept, check box. You've been able to develop it year over year and expand it and grow the revenue, check that box.
Yeah.
Where do you see, what's the limitation, and can you become that 10, 50, $100 million company?
I see right now we're at a kind of a pivotal state, and we got invited to do South by Southwest. We're doing the New York Times travel show. We're kind of just getting over that hump.
Right.
But our business is a family business. My brother is our writer. My son just joined us. My daughter-in-law back in New York is our pattern maker, and we have someone else that's not family, but he's like family.
Yeah.
And I really want to always keep it to the size where we can manage it and kind of make sure the product is good. So. Big,
you don't always have a choice. There's certain tipping points when
Perhaps.
you go,
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Instead of 100 orders coming in today, we got 11,000.
That sounds great. We'll manage that. We'll figure that one out. Yeah.
Doing business in Rhode Island takes its knocks from time to time, but it's also, that remarkably small, connected place that gives a lot of advantages. I mean, we never could have launched this in a lot of cities and gotten it as significant as we have without it being Rhode Island and being connected.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the advantages of working in Rhode Island.
I love being from Rhode Island. When we go to a show in, let's say, Berlin, we do a little Rhode Island quiz because no one knows where Rhode Island is, and it's kind of fun.
Do you just fall back and say New England?
Near
Boston?
No,
do you do that?
No, we hold it. Yeah.
When they say, is it Long Island, do you just go, yes, we just live in Long Island?
I know, we get that a lot. But it's interesting because I think we've spread the word a bit. And because I think it is a very creative, Providence is a very creative city. And I really like being from here. Our graphic designer is, I think, better than anyone in in any giant
great
city.
Design.
It's we have really, really great access to amazing talent. So I think that being from here allows us to feel like we're in a small city, but we have big city, advantages.
Is there? I do want to go to the design because you have some really, they're almost classic designs that look like kind of a wool coat that you'd find on the street of London, but yet it's somehow cleverly immersed in this unique juxtaposition into a technical fabric that's remarkably high performance.
Yeah. That's very nice of you to say. We like to have fun with fabrics. Sometimes we've just inherited fabrics from like a business that's gone under in New Bedford, and we found beautiful Italian wool, and then we put a really cool magnet on it. It's kind of fun to do that. We do, however, get a lot of people thinking that we're from England.
Yeah,
which I think is.
Well, I
kind of
think it's
a
the
funny thing.
name too. It's got kind of that Paddington Bear, Cleverhood, right? Wouldn't Paddington Bear wear a Cleverhood?
I would like to think so. Yeah, it would be very flattering on him. Yeah. No, it's fun to design this. I get to do all the design, and sooner or later, I mean, we have other pieces. All the team adds bits and pieces, but it's kind of nice to challenge ourselves to always be clever.
Is the good economy and suppliers and your sewers being busy, is that a curse to some degree in that you might have more success if they weren't quite as busy and a little hungrier?
I always feel like there's always those pluses and minuses.
Right.
I mean, yes, I would prefer to have a lot of sewers at my beck and call. But I do think that there are advantages, and I think that it actually makes the garment smarter when we have to build it so that it's designed well enough that we can have some varying skills on it. I don't know. I think it's a give and take.
suggestions, people watching the show, learning about the company, and say, I want to start my own apparel company. What do you
That's
say to
exciting.
that?
People contact us all the time and have this sort of questions, and I think it's a little steeper of a climb than one might realize. But if you talk to someone that can give you kind of a heads up, you can kind of dodge through it. I'd say more the merrier.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's a misery loves company, but I jump right in. Absolutely.
Listen, I want to thank you, Susan, so much for coming on. We'll have to have you on more frequently than just once a year.
Come in monthly.
Yeah, that'd be great. Congratulations on the success. Everyone doesn't always understand how complex it can be and difficult it can be to build a company from kind of ground zero. You started one day and there were no sales.
Right.
And now,
Yeah.
You've got lots of customers and returning customers and happy family members and families deciding to wear it for their wedding and things like that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to be back at 3:30 with Vin Mezzalillo. Just as I mentioned, has secured a major federal loan for $268 million to help offset some of the cost of the next advancement of the combined sewer overflow, which will make Narragansett Bay even cleaner and healthier for all of us to live. And for us who've been in Rhode Island for the last 30 plus years, and you go down and see the Seekonk River, the Providence River, and look at the transformation of those water bodies and many water bodies around the state from being putrid, stinky, polluted to clean, vibrant wildlife. It's a remarkable success. We'll be back, and thanks for tuning in.